He was the man who never backed down, the tough guy, the action hero, the voice of confidence and cool under pressure. Bruce Willis wasn't just a Hollywood icon, he was a symbol of strength, of resilience, of charm. But one day, he stepped away from the camera and disappeared from the spotlight, quietly, without warning, without a fight. What happened to Bruce Willis was invisible at first, subtle, hidden, but devastating. And what's truly frightening, it's not rare, it's not random, and it could already be affecting someone you know right now. Bruce Willis captivated the world for decades. From his breakout role in Moonlighting, to the legendary Die Hard franchise, to unforgettable performances in The Sixth Sense, Pulp Fiction, and The Fifth Element, he was loved by millions. That crooked smile, the dry humor, the effortless charisma. He was the guy everyone rooted for. A superstar, yes, but also a devoted father, a husband, a friend, a man whose life seemed full of laughter, light, and energy. But behind the scenes, something was changing, quietly, slowly, and cruelly. At first, it seemed like normal aging. He forgot lines on set, took longer to respond during interviews, needed help during shoots. In 2020, reports began to surface. Bruce was using an earpiece to be fed his lines. Some said he looked confused, others thought he just seemed tired. "He's earned it," fans said. "He's getting older," others guessed. But his family saw more. The difference in how he spoke, the pauses, the confusion, the loss of spark. It was more than just getting older. Something was wrong, deeply wrong. And then the news hit. In March 2022, Bruce Willis's family released a heartbreaking statement. He had been diagnosed with aphasia, a condition that affects the ability to communicate. He was stepping away from acting, effective immediately. For many, it was shocking. Aphasia, isn't that something that happens after a stroke? The truth was more complex and more terrifying. Months later, in February 2023, the family shared an update. The real diagnosis was frontotemporal dementia, FTD, a brutal degenerative brain disease, incurable, progressive, and shockingly underdiagnosed. FTD is not like Alzheimer's. It doesn't begin with memory loss. Instead, it attacks the brain's frontal and temporal lobes, regions responsible for language, behavior, and personality. People with FTD might say inappropriate things, become impulsive, emotionally distant. They may stop recognizing social norms, show sudden apathy, or lose the ability to speak at all. And here's the most chilling part. Frontotemporal dementia often strikes early, in your 40s, 50s, or 60s. While most people think of dementia as a disease of the elderly, FTD is the most common form of dementia for people under 60. That means Bruce Willis was living with a brain disease, likely for years, without knowing it. And the signs? They can be so easy to miss. Subtle changes in mood, forgetting words, struggling to express ideas, small personality shifts, withdrawal, fatigue. But slowly, the brain changes. The neurons begin to die. And once that happens, there's no turning back. Bruce's family spoke with heartbreaking honesty. His wife, Emma, became his full-time caregiver. His daughters, including Rumor Willis, shared the pain of watching someone they love fade away in front of them. Not all at once, but piece by piece. Imagine the confusion. Imagine waking up next to someone you love and realizing they don't fully recognize you anymore. Imagine the frustration of trying to find the right words and watching them slip away like sand through your fingers. And this is why you need to know what FTD looks like. Because the sooner it's detected, the sooner families can get help, support, guidance, and maybe, just maybe, delay the decline. So what causes frontotemporal dementia? In many cases, it's linked to an abnormal buildup of proteins in the brain, most commonly tau and TDP-43. These proteins clump together and interfere with the brain's normal functions. Over time, they cause the neurons to die, especially in the frontal and temporal lobes. While the exact causes aren't always clear, genetics can play a role. Up to 40% of FTD cases are inherited. If you have a family member who developed dementia before age 65, your risk could be higher. But genetics aren't the only factor. Chronic stress, inflammation, environmental toxins, poor diet, and lack of cognitive stimulation may all contribute to brain vulnerability. And unlike Alzheimer's, there are no approved treatments for FTD. No medications that can stop or reverse its progress. But that doesn't mean you're powerless. There are steps you can take today to protect your brain and the brains of those you love. Let's start with what the science says. Nutrition matters. The brain is an energy-hungry organ. It needs the right fuel to function. Diets high in processed sugars and unhealthy fats have been linked to increased cognitive decline. On the other hand, the Mediterranean diet, which includes fish, nuts, olive oil, leafy greens, berries, and whole grains, has been shown to reduce the risk of dementia. Omega-3 fatty acids found in wild salmon, walnuts, flax seeds, and certain supplements support brain cell structure and reduce inflammation. Curcumin found in turmeric may help clear amyloid plaques, proteins linked to neurodegeneration. Exercise is key. Physical activity doesn't just improve circulation, it stimulates the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, a protein that helps grow and protect neurons. Even a brisk 30-minute walk 5 days a week can make a measurable difference in cognitive health. Sleep is non-negotiable. During deep sleep, your brain clears out toxins and consolidates memories. Chronic sleep deprivation has been strongly linked to cognitive decline and dementia. Adults need at least 7 to 8 hours of high-quality sleep each night. Social connection and mental stimulation also matter. Isolation and loneliness can accelerate brain decline. Regular conversations, puzzles, reading, learning new skills, or even playing music can help build cognitive resilience. Routine medical checkups are essential, especially if there's a history of neurological conditions in your family. Early intervention, even without a cure, can extend quality of life and reduce suffering. Stress management is crucial too. Chronic stress bathes the brain in cortisol, a hormone that over time can shrink key memory centers like the hippocampus. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, and even simple hobbies like gardening or painting can dramatically lower stress levels and protect your brain. Don't underestimate the role of toxins either. Heavy metals like lead and mercury, pesticides, and even some household chemicals have been linked to neurological decline. Choose natural cleaning products when you can. Filter your water. Be mindful of your environment. And finally, never stop learning. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, is one of the most powerful defenses we have against decline. Learning a new language, playing an instrument, even switching hands for daily tasks can strengthen neural pathways and keep your brain adaptable and resilient. But here's what you must remember. FTD doesn't wait. It creeps in quietly. And by the time it's obvious, it's already late. So if someone you know has started acting differently, becoming more withdrawn, losing their words, reacting out of character, don't just chalk it up to stress or age. Ask questions, pay attention, advocate for testing. Bruce Willis spent a lifetime entertaining the world, giving us unforgettable stories. And now, in silence, he's teaching us something even more powerful. That brain health is fragile. That change can happen in the prime of life. And that we must act before it's too late. If this has made you pause, even for a second, don't ignore that feeling. Think of your parents, your siblings, your spouse, your best friend. Think of yourself. Don't wait for the symptoms to become severe. Don't dismiss the warning signs. Because if it happened to Bruce Willis, one of the strongest men on screen, it can happen to anyone. Talk to your doctor. Take care of your brain and never forget the quiet lessons behind the headlines. If this video made you think, imagine how many lives it could save. Like, share, and subscribe now. Every week we bring you truth, health, and hope, because your brain is your future.